Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and in today's video, I am so excited to do an unboxing and first impressions of the Yealink W59R, which is a ruggedized handset from Yealink. The reason that I'm so psyched about this review is because the phone that we're going to review today, the W59R, is the ruggedized version of this phone, the famed Yealink W60P. This phone has been for, I want to say, almost pushing 3 years now, the #1 most sold cordless IP phone on the market. But the phone that we're going to review today, the 59R, is basically the waterproof, ruggedized, like drop resistant version of this phone. I've actually got high hopes for this phone. I'm hoping that what we see when we unbox this is interesting and it holds up to what people have come to know and love and accept or expect in regards to the W60P. So let's take a look at this thing and see what we got in the box. But first, before we get into this unboxing and first impressions, remember, you're watching the #1 channel on YouTube on all things business phone systems and business internet service related tips, tricks, and just advice on best buying practices to help you make the best decisions when searching for new service for your business. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our new content and you're notified when we release new videos. Okay, so before we unbox this bad boy, I didn't even know that the W59R was a thing, which is interesting because I have personally worked with literally hundreds of clients that adopted Yealink's regular, most popular cordless IP phone, the W60P. And then one day, somebody at Yealink, when I was chatting with them at HQ in China, just asked me point blank, Prince, how come you've never done a review on the W59R or done an unboxing for the channel? And I said, well, what's that? And they said, that's the ruggedized version. And I said, wait, that's a thing? Send it immediately. So here we are. Big thank you to Yealink and big thank you to VoIP Supply for also handling the shipping and logistics for sending this. As always, I'll have links where you can find this to VoIP Supply and some other sources if you're interested in seeing pricing and more detailed specifications on this phone. But without further ado, let's jump into this unboxing and first impressions. So here's our actual phone. So it's not as long as the W60P, but it's definitely like kind of bulkier. W60P is just kind of like a plastic or polymer all the way around, but this has more of like a ruggedized chassis to, I guess, help it be like impact resistant or drop resistant. We're gonna set this aside and see what else we've got in this box. Got a manual here. It says Yealink 59R decked IP phone quick start guide. It looks like it's actually got on here like different things and different bullet points and stuff like that for like the different function keys and what they do and whatnot. Looks like we've also got in here the backing. Also got here your power brick, power adapter. Here's our battery. And then last but not least, this looks like this is our charging base. Now, you're probably wondering, where is the actual wireless base for this thing, like what you saw when I showed you guys the W60P earlier? Most of these phones, if you get them in a kit, they will come with the wireless base, but this, since it was sent to me just the handset, almost as if I was just replacing a handset for an existing system, it doesn't actually come with the base. It's just the phone itself. But just so you guys know, and I did confirm this with Yealink and VoIP Supply, this phone actually pairs with the same base that the W60P uses. So if you're watching this and you've got any of the other newer Yealink cordless IP phones, or you've got a W60P, you can actually pair this with your existing base. If you don't have a base, then what you would want to buy is the W59R kit, which probably goes by a different code name. So I'll make sure I have that in the link description below for you guys to see. But what you'll want is the kit that has everything you've seen me unbox thus far in this box, along with the actual decked wireless base that connects to Ethernet. And it usually comes with an Ethernet cable or like a Cat5 or a Cat6 patch cable as well to connect the base included. All right, so here we are, everything that's included in the box. From left to right, you've got your Yealink W59R decked IP phone quick start guide. You've got your actual chargeable base, which this would sit in upright, similar to the W60P. You've got the actual W59R handset itself. We've got our charging brick here, which actually plugs into the chargeable base, which we're gonna hook all this up in a few. You've got your rechargeable battery that goes into the back here like so. And then you've got your actual cover here, which like most ruggedized phones, it actually has a little flip switch to lock this to prevent this from falling off easily if you do accidentally drop this phone or if it falls off the edge of a desk or gets bumped or something like that. And then last but not least, this thing, I still have no freaking clue what this is, but maybe We'll find out later. But anyways, let's put this all together and see what we got. Okay, so here we are. The Yealink W59R all put together with the battery in and in its charging cradle. Let me give you guys some quick specifications on this phone before I give you my honest impressions on what I think about this phone at a glance. So the W59R, as I already mentioned, is a cordless IP phone that boasts that it is ruggedized, and it also states that it is IP67, which means that it is relatively waterproof. Now, if I remember IP67 correctly, it does not mean that you can leave this underwater indefinitely like a really good sports watch or something like that. It does have a limit, but it does say that it is shock, dust, and water resistant. This phone claims to have HD audio, built-in Bluetooth, that's a huge plus, vibration alarm, alarm function, belt clip, and it says it has quick charge. Just to reiterate on one thing before we move on, the Bluetooth is actually a nice touch because I have many people in the past that have had cordless IP phones that did not support Bluetooth and were a little disappointed because they couldn't use like a wireless headset or something like that for comfort. While this is a cordless IP phone, I mean, obviously the ability to be able to not have to have this up to your ear all the time and maybe have some sort of hands-free capability is a huge plus. The W59R has a 1.8 inch 128 by 160 TFT color screen. It says it has HD voice, as I already mentioned, and it says that it has up to 28 hours of talk time, and it says it has up to 360 hours of standby time and 200 hours of standby time if you have a Bluetooth headset connected to it. It also says that it has a keypad that is backlit and a keypad lock, which I guess that means if you're walking around or you have it connected to your side or on the belt clip, you can't butt dial anybody or anything like that. It says that this is also fully compatible with the Yealink W80 multi-cell system for seamless roaming and handover. What that means is if you want to deploy this in a large deployment where you need to be able to move around freely through a large building, say a large warehouse or large call center, you can get multiple Yealink W80 multi-cell systems and basically roam around within the same wireless network, similar to how your computer would work in a large installation or bigger office if you need to be able to move around and you've got multiple access points throughout your office or throughout your structure. It's the same concept. For those of you who are wondering how many lines this supports, from what I see here, it says that you can have up to 2 simultaneous calls per handset. So it looks like it's 2-line capability. And it also says that it supports 3-way conference calling. Of course, it has all your other typical features like call forward, call waiting, call hold, mute, silence, D&D, music on hold, auto answer, speed dial, voicemail, custom dial plans, emergency call capability, and it says that it has a 100 phone book memory storage capability for contacts and such. So, what do I think about the Yealink W59R? I like it. It's definitely more rugged than the Yealink W60P. I mean, it's heavier, so you can tell that it's bulkier. And that tells me right there that this thing is using more rubber and has a more dense material or polymer to be able to make it a lot more stronger than the W60P, which is the point because this is the W59R instead of the 60, which is the R stands for ruggedized. Things that I like. I like the key lock. This is a pretty standard thing on most ruggedized IP phones. If you guys have frequented the channel, you've probably seen me review other ruggedized IP phones, but I like the key lock. I wish it had a little bit more line capability than 2 lines. That seems a little light to me because if I recall, the W60P definitely supported more line function capability for simultaneous calls, but it does say that it supports 3-way calling, so I guess that's kind of its saving grace there as well. This may be used in hospital or medical installations. It has the little like emergency like push button thing here, like a lot of hospital grade or ruggedized phones that I've reviewed in the past have. So maybe that is for like emergency situations or healthcare industry. As far as the screen and the menus, it's almost identical to the W60P. This video is just an unboxing and first impression, so I'm not really gonna go into all the functions and the features of the phone. I am gonna connect this thing to my network and maybe use it for a couple of weeks and then report back to you guys my findings and what I think, but it's very similar to the same menu structure and layout and look and everything as the W60P. So considering the W60P is literally at the time of this video, like the world's most sold, most popular current cordless IP phone. I would assume if this uses the same interface, then I mean, we can only expect the same great software that Yealink kind of like brought to the table with the previous non-ruggedized model. So there's not really much that I can say about it by way of what I don't like about it, because it's basically a W60P ruggedized, and the W60P is one of the best cordless IP phones that we've personally seen in the last 3 years. Not just by my opinion, but even by popular request from customers and things like that, where when they've looked at all of the different cordless IP phones that were on the table, the Polycom, the Cisco, the Grandstream, they almost always gravitated towards the Yealink W60P. So for the 59R, which is this phone, I see this being a very viable competitor and a very great solution for people that may be in the construction field or in the medical field, where they need something that's a bit water resistant, not only from liquids, but from bodily fluids and things like that, and drop resistant in a medical facility or laboratory. I could see this being a very good option. I don't actually know exactly what the price for this is off top, but again, I'm gonna have the links in the description below for you guys. Tell me what you think in the comments below about this phone, first impressions at a glance. Do you like it? Do you think it's too big? Do you think it's too small? Do you think it's a good looking phone? Do you think it's ugly? Tell me what you honestly think about this phone. And again, I'll have some links to this phone for pricing, more technical specifications, and also some technical details and things like that, if you'd like to see what other people online are saying about this phone. As always, if you thought this video was interesting or you found it helpful, go ahead and give it a like. You are watching the #1 channel on all things business phone and internet services related. Tips and advice to help you make the best buying decisions and pick the right services for your business. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you're notified when we release new content. As always, this is Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll catch you guys again in the next video.